Absolutely. Can you give me some examples of some good leaders, and then also some bad leaders that you've noticed throughout the years? What are some things that the great ones are doing, and what are some things that the bad ones are doing?
In a general sense, the good ones tend to maximize whatever attributes that they have as far as the soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're an unbelievable athlete, you're going to be very good at that, and you're going to make it. But you're also going to try and maximize everything else, whether it be the classroom. And some guys, it doesn't come good. There was a young man, Sasha Simon. He came in and he knew he was gonna probably redshirt and fight and scrap for time. Mm-hmm. And he was the epitome of a guy that took advantage of every opportunity that he had. Mm-hmm. And he led us. He was a leader. That was his attribute. Then you have certain guys that lead on game day, and all of those things come together. And the great thing about Sasha is he sat there and did what he did, and then he had key moments, and he was always ready that, hey, we need you to play. He was not going to be a 90-minute, 20-game starter, but he knew how to take advantage of every opportunity he was given, whether it was in the classroom or the training room, the weight room. He maximized his athleticism. Mm-hmm. He maximized his soccer abilities. He maximized his leadership in the locker room. Well, he was a part of our teams that 16, 17, or 15, 16, 17. He won 3 championships.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. He won 4 over his 5 years. And the glitch in that run that we've had from 13 to 19, where we won either the regular season or the tournament championship. And in the years we won the tournament championship, we didn't finish lower than second, with the exception of 1 year, 2014. And that was a year that, after we had lost all of that strong leadership with that group in 13, and in 14, there was just a vacuum. We didn't have enough older guys that were doing everything right all the time, or most of the time, or striving to do everything right. Right? I think you can't have perfection in any part, but you can always strive for it. Yeah. And we had a group of guys in 13 that were striving for it. 14, we didn't have enough critical mass, and there were some shortcuts taken. Mm-hmm. And that eventually caught up to us.
Yeah.
And then we brought somebody in 15. His name's Oscar Rivero. He did everything right all the time. And then eventually he fought and he clawed. And he did not get his opportunity until 2016 to be an everyday contributor. Well, that then picked up where the group of 13 left off. And have we had the exact leadership that I've wanted every day since then? No.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty good. And good leadership usually ends up in good results, in finding a way to win championships, and also in getting your graduation done. And those are 2 things that I think we've been pretty proud of since 2013, is far more years than not we've won one of those trophies. And our graduation success rate is at 92%. Yeah. So all of those things, those are having the right character and the right balance of leaders. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that, you're not going to win. If you don't have all the talent in the world, those types of things can make up for that shortcoming.
Yeah.
Because if you do everything right, or if you strive to do everything right all the time, those shortcomings tend to get minimized. And then everybody ends up playing towards their strengths.
Yeah. Yeah, I think mental toughness kind of jumps in there too. When you have enough talent, but you still have that grit and that drive, it really kind of helps lead you.
And that's what's missing right now. I think overall is there's a lack of grit and toughness that kids are getting exposed to growing up. And it's a tough thing to develop in the window that we're given as college soccer coaches. Mm-hmm. And so you have to identify it, and that's where I go back to, if you can find the strains of leadership within the kids, I think then we have to develop it.
Right. Yeah. Now, is it, for you as a coach, is that easy for you to kind of see when you're watching kids? Can you kind of pick out those leaders as you go, or is it something that you maybe see potential and know that you can nurture that when they get to you? Any thoughts on that?
I think it's a multi-layered approach. You're going to see it. You're going to see it in how they treat their parents. You're going to see it in how they treat their teammates. How do they treat their referees? How do they treat their coaches? So as they play, and again, we're not looking for some goody two shoes, right? You still want to find a guy that can go in hard for a tackle. Mm-hmm. But how does that player respond in the adverse of that, when they're the recipient of the tackle? So you sit there and in all those moments, you see them. And the trick is trying to identify those moments when they don't think you're watching. And then if you see those traits, then it's call the kid's club coach. If the kid plays for the high school team, call the high school team. Talk to their teammates. Kind of an underappreciated piece is talking to their guidance counselor. If you're not in an environment where you can watch the kids all the time and really get to know them, a guidance counselor goes a long, long way towards letting you know. So you got to figure that out. And then at some point, you have to make a decision as a staff. Does this kid check off enough of the boxes that you're comfortable that you can go on and develop it? Because really, if we're doing our job from the time they show up, from the time we get a commitment from them, or even if you want to go back to the recruiting process, when they come onto campus for the visit, all the way until the time they're done, have you seen a development in those areas with that kid? And again, if I go back to, not every kid is a natural leader, fine, but every kid has some leadership attributes. Can they learn to at least lead with their example? Everybody can lead by example.
Yeah.
If you can at least get that and get kids understanding that that's part of it, then I think you've done your job. But you can develop certain attributes.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, that's one of the small parts of what makes coaches great too, is that you guys are also leaders. And so if you can find that potential and bring it out of them, that's also something helpful.
Yes.
That you can do for sure.